Welcome back. The Ford goaltending matchup tonight. And looks at a man who is the first goalie in the history of this league to win his first 10 decisions to start a year. But he's given up 6 goals in the last 7 periods in which he has been on the ice. So he looks to help his team grab 2 points out tonight against that man's Edmonton Oilers team. There's 6'5" Devin Dubnyk, who makes his 7th consecutive appearance tonight for the Oil. You see he's got 6 wins. Their whole team has 8. He's got 6 of them. Kelly Sutherland and Gord Dwyer will be paired up as the 2 referees tonight. Andy McElveen's on the other side skating away. He's paired up with Brian Pansich as the linesman. Hey, wait a minute. McElveen's here. Where's our cupcakes? He usually sends up a big box. Well, the Oilers were here right near the start of their road trip, and Stevie references they're in the middle or near the end of a 9-game road trip. They've gone only 1-4-2 in their first 7. And in those 7 games have scored 14 goals but given up 25.
And this first period of Blackhawk hockey is brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers.
Patrick Kane will have to chip that one deep. Goes in again against his buddy Gagne. Now Schultz into safe play for the Oilers, just clearing it out. Both of these teams had yesterday off. Here's an offside play. By the way, we should note that the Victor Stahlberg you just saw there paired up with Bolin and Kane to open up this game tonight. So he gets a wonderful opportunity. And Stahlberg with 5 points in his last 5. So I mean, that's part of the reason, in addition to the speed, that he's given a chance on the second line.
A nice little promotion. Brian Bickle started in that position that last game in Colorado. He did not finish there.
Now it's cleared back into Chicago ice, and it's going to be an icing violation against the Oilers.
And tonight's lineup at the top of the screen are brought to you by Sports Yapper. Go Yap now.
Taylor Hall, one of the great young stars on this Oilers team. They've had several first overall picks, and I think this was a season that a lot of people expected this team to start to show some achievement. It just hasn't happened yet. They come in here right near the bottom of the league. They've got 21 points is all. Hawks have 45. Hall able to hack it loose, and there goes Marian Hossa. Hossa had to chip it off the glass. It stayed in. Oduya tries the other side. A pinching Petrie kept it in for the Oilers. Oduya looks toward Saad. It was knocked away before reaching him. Now this is going to be a turnover. Here's a long shot. Blocked away by Emery. Chased by Hjalmarsson. And a turnover. Here's Hemsky. What a recovery by Nick Hjalmarsson. He prevented a shot on goal after he turned it over. And that should have been a dangerous chance for Hemsky.
Yeah, that was 3 turnovers, though, by the Blackhawks. Twice it was defensemen jumping in from Edmonton to kind of pinch off plays. They got the real hard shot from the point and a nice first save by Ray Emery.
And now Bickle flipped it ahead. Never quite got to Shaw. Was jammed up in the process. Offside the result.
Pat, you mentioned Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Watch with one hand on his stick. He does give it up, but he gets right back in the play. And watch him just extend with that right arm of his, making sure that Hemsky doesn't get a shot.
Shaw wins the draw, so the Hawks get it in. But a funny hop. Bickle jammed it toward the middle, but now taken by Eberle, and the Oilers get out. Hartikainen chased down his own chip. Here's the center attempt. That's smothered by Seabrook. Hartikainen again, trying to stuff it home. Not this time, says Emery.
Well, something Ralph Kruger complained about the last couple of games. You mentioned, Pat, shutout in Edmonton, in Nashville. Guys going to the net. That's what Hartikainen brings. He's a pretty big guy, 6'2", 214 pounds, and he just follows the puck. Unfortunately, he didn't have a lot of support there. Brent Seabrook went down to try and take away the pass. He didn't. That allowed Hartikainen to get a second opportunity attempt.
draw. Ryan Smith, who's been a winger for the 97% of his career. He starts the game at center ice tonight. Big 94 for the Oilers. There's Mike Brown, the Chicago boy. He got to it to the deep slot. Quick shot. He scored! Mike Brown. A wrister from 50 feet that somehow snuck by Emery and off the near post and in. The goalie was surprised by that one, and the Oilers have a surprising lead.
Yeah, recently picked up from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Brown makes his presence felt. He had 2 fights in his first 2 games with Edmonton, and here he gets his first goal as an Oiler. Fools Ray Emery. Don't think it changed direction. Certainly one he should have had. An Ultramo just off the inside of that right post. Now, I saw Nick Leddy put his stick out. Don't know whether or not it made contact. But Mike Brown with that all-important first goal.
Now Keith looking to go rink wide, picked up by Stahlberg, then he lost it and hit it by Gagne. That's helped to dump it in. Hey, Harvey tipped it back around the board. Potter kept it in. Bouncing puck captured by Seabrook. He tried to clear. It's held in. Corey Potter walks center one. Here's a chance for the Oilers. Picked up. Goal post, I believe, as Gagne snapped it off. Now bounces puck. Payarvi centered. They score. Gagne. And the Edmonton Oilers, with the Hawks fumbling it every which way in their own zone. They've scored 2 goals in 36 seconds, and they got a 2-0 lead.
Well, there's an Edmonton Oilers team that hasn't scored in 2 games, and they come out here in 3 minutes and score 2 on the Blackhawks. And as you mentioned, great pressure down low. You know, a situation where the Blackhawks are just turning pucks over, and then they're becoming spectators, everyone chasing the puck. That allows Sam Gagne to be wide open. Not a heck of a lot that Ray Emery could do on that one. And early, Edmonton up 2-0.
All right, now here's a chance for Hall. His centering attempt came off a Hawk stick, and Emery had to be in the way of that.
The Blackhawks on their heels. They realize they're playing a team that has some speed. You mentioned the youngsters who haven't been scoring this year, whether it's Hall or Nugent Hopkins or Yakupov, a guy we haven't really talked about yet. They have got plenty of speed up front, and right now they've got the Blackhawks on their heels.
And I was starting to say earlier, Stevie, that neither one of these teams skated yesterday. So the expectation might be that both clubs would come out with a lot of energy. And if that's true as far as the Hawks are concerned, really the lack of practice time showing itself. I mean, they can't complete a pass here the first couple of minutes of the game. Now here comes Hossa looking to change that. Might have a 3-on-2. Saad's got it. Saad centered it. And he missed Hayes. In behind is Hossa. Held by Saad. Jalmerson up the boards. Hossa is well covered by Petrie. And finally the Oilers able to get it out.
Well, Petrie with a real good start here. He scored his first goal of the year. Last time you mentioned that they were in town about 2 weeks ago. And has done a great job just getting pucks out and then helping seal pucks in at the offensive blue line.
It's another offside call. There have been a couple of those already against Chicago.
And just as a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Jeff Schultz rings it around for the Oilers. Ryan Smith goes back to Schultz. And it's held in by Leddy, whose shot never got through. Kane kept it in. Bickles in behind, looking towards Shaw. He was well covered. And Mike Brown the other way for Edmonton. Brown hit by Sheldon Brookbank, who returns to the Hawk lineup tonight. Smith centering pass smothered by Brookbank. It's at the side of the goal. Emery tried to freeze it, could not. And again, Smith against Brookbank, who checked him, and Hawkshaw comes away.
Smith was trying to bank that off the skates of Brookbank, and he almost did it.
Potter will send it back into Chicago ice. Oduya check. Payarvi couldn't get that feed through Chalmerson. Now The Hawks have Carcillo. Clearing it into Edmonton ice. Chased down by Kruger. Marcus Kruger has a 3-game scoring streak. Assists in 3 in a row. But now the Oilers come away. Payarvi gets into Chicago ice. Trying to center one. Kane moves the front. A quick shot. Emery, big save with a left pad on Yakupov, who's got a great shot. And Nail Yakupov had Emery to himself. And the goalie flashed out the left skate.
Yeah, another odd man rush for the Edmonton Oilers. Yakupov might have been interfered with right at the last second, but he's got a heavy shot. Emery with the toe save.
Well, it bounces along the boards, and Taylor Hall got it out. Here comes Keith. Takes a long shot that Dubnyk kicks to the corner. And the Oilers safely hoist it out of there. Schmid. They put it to Petrie. Now Hemsky snapped a long wrister that blocked it right to the center of the ice. Hjalmarsson there, and the Oilers regroup. They missed on a pass, though. Icing going to be called.
You talked about that save Ray Emery made off of Yakupov. Another odd man rush for Edmonton. Yakupov will get interfered with just slightly there by Nicholas Hjalmarsson, and a great left pad save. You see it hit the stick of Hjalmarsson off the toe of Ray Emery.
Hjalmarsson's wrister off the mark here, and the Oilers. Beverly cleared it. Nugent Hopkins dumped it, and Hartikainen retrieved it. But Hossa took it off his stick, and back he comes. Hossa for Saad. Hossa heading for the net. Saad wants Taves. The puck hit a skate, though, and Nugent Hopkins. Check. Hossa the steal. He finds an open Oduya, but the pass was at his feet. Here's Hossa's one-timer. Hit a leg out in front. The Chicago passing here early on is really subpar.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. You know, if that's on the stick of Johnny Oduya, he gets a clear shot on net. There was no one between him and the net. Instead, he had to readjust, kick it from his skates, and basically a broken play.
Shaw dumped it. Schultz fires it within a foot of going over the glass, but they now are able to pick it up. Petrell gets in. Tried a shot that was blocked by Leddy. Leonard Petrell chipped it across the ice. Held in Potter. Tries it on glass. Never got through. 2-throw leap. And looked down at center ice. He's going to get lined up by Schultz. Carried on Shaw. Centered it. Oh, and Bickle. The pass was partially screened from Bickle. He didn't see it until it was right in front of him. And he missed it all alone in front. Now an open Brookbank will tee it up. Shooting. And a good block, Schultz. In behind, here's a wraparound by Bickle, and that's smothered by Dubnyk. And a broken stick allows Brookbank to keep it in. Potter steals and cleared the zone.
Brian Bickle with a wraparound attempt. You mentioned Dubnyk did a real good job on the poke check. Bickle, nobody within 5 feet of him, and he got it poked off his stick.
Right now, Hjalmarsson gives a little ground. Oduya, a hot pass sailed over the stick of Kane, icing the call.
Brian Bickle, a couple of looks at his last shift out there. Here's the first one. A nice play by Andrew Shaw. Gets a stride on his play at his check. And Brian Bickle just maybe redirected a little bit by a diving Taylor Hall. It just went under the heel of his stick and ended up with no shot on net. Pretty good numbers for Bickle his last 5 games. You see 4 goals in his last 5 contests.
Well, the draw coming right to the doorstep, swept out of there, and the Oilers keep it in. Here's a long shot. Petrie, that hit his own man. Gagne in front. Tipped out by Boland. Now the Oilers catching the Hawks in a change. Payarvi shooting. And a good save by Emery, who's able to cover it up. We're almost halfway through the first. The Hawks have been outshot 8-3.
Welcome back to the United Center up at press level, presented by Acura Dealers. I'm Tracy Myers for CSNChicago.com, and with me tonight, NBC Sports national columnist Joe Kwasnansky. Thank you so much for joining us, and what brings you here tonight?
Well, I'm here to do a big piece on the Blackhawks. Very excited, and I mean, didn't know that it was going to start off quite this way, but obviously there's such a big story, and their connection to the city is so great.
You've gotten a little taste of the atmosphere here. What do you think tonight?
It's my first time. It's my first time I've seen the Blackhawks. So even all the stuff I'd seen on TV, the crowd cheering during the anthem and everything else, it's amazing. I mean, the energy here is so great.
Joe, thanks so much for doing this, and you will have a piece on the Blackhawks, and folks, you can read about that tomorrow on CSNChicago.com. Pat and Steve, back to you.
Thanks, Tracy. And what was once a raucous gathering is now a little bit more subdued, but still 51 minutes of hockey remaining.
You've got to hand it to Edmonton. I mean, they have come out and they have really taken it to the Blackhawks. They've won their fair share of draws. They're getting pucks deep. They're getting them back. And part of the reason they're out shooting Chicago 8-3.
Now the draw. Taken by the Oilers. Hall trying to go back door. Quick shot. They score. What a play by Whitney. But a great find by Taylor Hall. He made a rink-wide feed as Whitney snuck in back door. None of the Hawks saw him. 3-love Edmonton.
Blackhawks actually win this, Pat. And Johnny Oduya gets it. He gets his pocket picked. And I believe it's Taylor Hall who does it. Ends up with the puck. Will circle around and find a streaky defenseman. Defenseman really active for Edmonton tonight. That's Whitney jumping in from the point. He has a wide open net. And Joel Quenneville wasting no time here. Does not call a timeout. He's deciding to change goaltenders. Corey Crawford, who was pulled in that last game in Colorado, will spell some relief for Ray Emery.
So now the Blackhawks team that for virtually the entire first half never made a goalie change. It happened once because of injury, but now in back-to-back games, the guy who starts doesn't finish, and it's not injury related. But and in saying that, Ray Emery, hard to find fault really. I mean, why is Ryan Whitney so open? I mean, Mike Brown is a soft goal. But the last two, you can look at the other guys on the ice, not just the goalie.
Absolutely. And that's why those guys have to be looking at themselves on the bench. And a lot of times a coach will pull a goalie for that reason. Yeah, he might not have his stuff, but guys on the bench have to look at themselves. And this has been a real flat start for Chicago.
All right, now to the corner. Hall shoots off the side of the net. Got hit hard by Bolin as he did that. That's one of the things I'm sure the Hawk coaching staff would like to see, a little bit of contact. They try to get a wake-up call. Here's Kane, flipping it across to Keith. Bolin's pass smothered by Potter. Well, the Oilers, Hemsky cleared to the line. Good keep by Keith. The Oilers able to circle back nicely defensively. Now Stahlberg's feed broken up. Hemsky doesn't have any help. He'll get it in, get off.
Taylor Hall looking for a penalty there. Actually skated over towards the referee as he was changing. Thought he'd been tripped on the play by Bolin.
Brandon Saad throws it into the other corner. Mead. Artikainen now got to get away from Chalmers, and he's going to drive the net. Shooting! And he missed the target short side. Held in by Petrie. His shot kicked away. Crawford, good save in traffic. There goes Hossa. Here's the pass picked off. Great play at center ice by Schmid to get in the passing lane. Otherwise, Hossa was gone.
That was a real good play by Schmid, and there was no way he was going to catch him. Just got that stick out, took away the passing lane. Down the other end, Artikainen. Boy, he's had a good first period since coming off injured reserve.
Both he and Horcock just getting back into the Edmonton lineup after some time away with injury. Everly gets this in. Oduya's check. Jeff Schultz bounced it to the corner. Petrell works against Brookbank. Now a centering attempt taken eventually by Brown. Brookbank got to him. Hawks able to regain possession. Shaw will dump it. Didn't get very far though. And the Oilers the other way. Hawks are changing as Leddy starts up the ice. Gains the line. Nick Leddy. I want to center one, but Mayer's very well covered. And now Mayers wants to go at it with Brown, who doesn't want any part of it. And Mayer's going to get a penalty. Jamal Mayer's trying to get momentum going in his team's favor. Wanted to engage Mike Brown, and you got to tip your hat to Mike Brown. That's a smart skate away.
Well, Pat, as you mentioned, Jamal Mayer is trying to get his team a little energized. He drops his gloves, and you're right. A smart play by Mike Brown. He doesn't drop his, so Jamal Mayer's with the only penalty. Second goal by the Edmonton Oilers. A lot of spectating from Chicago. And as they end up with the puck, we stop it right here. You see all these guys just basically focused on the man getting the puck. And as it runs, he'll make them pay for it. Gets it over to Gagne, who has the open net. People watching and not taking care of checks.
So the Oilers get the game's first power play. Kruger able to get it out.
It's amazing, Pat. The Edmonton Oilers team lost in Detroit, lost in Nashville Friday night. They didn't have any power play attempts in either of those games.
Now that's hard to do. Chance for Gagne, right in. He scored. No. Did he? He did. I wasn't sure it was in. He got it to the backhand and stuffed it home. He just exploded up the ice, Gagne. It was hit with a great feed in full flight. 4-0.
Well, typically you try to protect your blue line when killing a penalty. Unfortunately, the Blackhawks were standing still. And Hjalmarsson and O'Dowie have done such a great job killing penalties, allowing number 89 just to break that seam. He just hits it in full stride. Perfect pass, as you mentioned. And then from the forehand to the backhand, he beats goaltender Corey Crawford, and he makes it a 4-0 Edmonton lead.
All right, here comes Bolin. I'm going to feed Kane. He's covered. Seabrook. Now the Oilers, Hemsky able to get it out of there.
Edmonton on the power play, his ninth of the season, scoring number 89, Sam Gagne.
Whitney for Edmonton.
At 12.2.
Clearing it ahead, that'll be an offside play.
Power play, his ninth, scored by Gagne, assisted by Whitney at 12.
Well, Hawk fans, here's your chance to be on CSN's trivia show, Gas Money. Join Susanna Collins and the CSN crew at the Hidden Shamrock in Lincoln Park tomorrow night at 5. You could win a spot on the show and some dough to take home. Stay tuned tonight after Hawks Postgame Live to see the latest episode.
Now Duncan Keith. His pass deflecting, chase down Taves, moves in, shot, good save, Dubnik, rebound, just out of the reach of Hossa. And the Oilers able to get it out. Here comes Petrie, dumping it in. Seabrook in hard to the end boards by Hartikainen, and he went back at Hartikainen, pushed him away. Well, the Hawks start back. Saad. Bouncing puck, missed Taves. Saad carried on to Hossa. Hossa shot off a stick, up off the netting, out of play.
The Chicago Blackhawks will host the 2013 Illinois State High School Hockey Championships, presented by Hinkley Springs, supported by MB Financial, Fresh Wave Sport, and Comcast Sportsnet. At the UC on Sunday, March 24th, a full day of action, which features 3 games starting at 12:30 p.m. General admission tickets are only $5. Parking's free. Purchase tickets and find more information. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
The Oilers, Petrell able to bounce it back. Going to be icing Edmonton here. And the Hawks now in almost 14 minutes of play have had 4 shots on goal. And the other night in Denver, when the long streak came to a crashing halt, the Avalanche got 4 goals in a period, and now the Oilers start this game with 4 goals in the first 14 minutes.
Really impressed with the way Edmonton's just getting the puck deep and getting it back. I mean, very aggressive on the forecheck, and that can backfire on you, but putting a lot of pressure on the Chicago Blackhawks defensemen, forcing turnovers and getting pucks back.
Patrick Kane looking to penetrate the zone. He gets it in. Offside. A little bit of a late whistle, but it is a whistle, and the play is stopped. Edmonton 4, Chicago nothing in the first.
Time now for our Kia drive to the net. It happened last Friday in Nashville from 100 feet. Devan Dubnyk, one he'd certainly like to have back. That was David Legwand, who hadn't scored in 8 games. Took a funny bounce on Dubnyk. He ended up finishing that period with a minute to go. Got pulled at the start of the second and has been perfect thus far. Just 4 shots on net.
Now Schultz taken away by Kane. To the corner, Bolin works against Gagne. Now Stahlberg's got it. He's checked, fights through it. Stahlberg spins to his forehand, helped by Bolin. Centered it, and it jumped away from Kane. Bolin cleared it in behind. And Gagne's pass picked off by Patrick Kane. Yakupov cleared it out. Bayarvi rings it around. Nail Yakupov, helped by Gagne, who flipped it toward the middle, deflecting to Keith. Then Seabrook. And now Taves, 3-on-3 to the line, left it for Hossa. Weaves to the middle, his shot blocked. It's out of play.
A lot of good sticks from these Edmonton Oilers, whether deflecting shots or picking off passes. And you see Marian Hossa just shaking his head. Nothing seems to be working for these guys right now. The last shift by the Dave Bolin line, maybe the best shift of this period thus far. They had some pressure down low. Didn't get any shots on net, but they had some pressure down low. Victor Stahlberg and Patrick Kane.
The draw. They got sandwiched. Hall took the puck away, and Taylor Hall carries it in. Hall with a shot up high over top of the net. Taves fights his way to the other end, drags a move to the forehand, and good play by Sean Horkoff from behind. He really worked to get back, Horkoff, and took it away with some back pressure.
Well, Taves was looking for a penalty, none to be had. Whitney with a good stick too.
Taves again. Hossa shooting. Fired it wide. Held in by Brookbank. Now into the corner. Saad trying to work it free, but the Oilers try to clear. Good keep, Brookbank. And Horkoff pushed Saad out of the way. He won the puck. Here's Leddy able to feed Bickle. Ryan Bickle into the zone. Turned around on the board. Martikainen goes across the ice. Nugent Hopkins against Leddy. Then Eberle got to it. Jordan Eberle's drop pass. Martikainen and Brookbank got locked up. Kane loose, and a pass by Nugent Hopkins broken up by Brookbank.
That was a real good stick. A wide open chance for Martikainen. Edmonton continues to get the puck deep and get it back.
Trying to catch him in a change. Here comes Bickle. Shooting into the glove of Dubnyk, who's probably glad to get a feel for it. I mean, that's just the 5th shot, and against some frustrated red-sweatered players, and a little gathering after the whistle.
Fans, don't miss your chance to catch all the exciting Blackhawks action from in between the players' benches. Bid on the CBOE seats through the online CBOE seats auction. For more information, go to chicagoblackhawks.com.
All right, here's Mayers on with Frolik and Carcillo. And a slight change of the way this game started. You would expect, if past history is any indication, Joel Quenneville's going to be jumbling up a few groupings as we move along here. Smith brings it around, held in Seabrook. Kick loose to Whitney. Three minutes to go in the first. 4-0 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Here's Frolik. And it's cleared into Edmonton ice. Mayers tries to crash into the corner, but Smead got to it. Mayers knocked him down. Maybe lucky to not get a whistle that time, and Carcillo looks to center. That's deflected by Yakupov. And Payarvi couldn't get it out, but Yakupov will. And Oduya pounds it back in there.
This job by the rookie Yakupov, not really known for play inside his own blue line, but he came down deep, helped out his defense immensely, and got the puck basically out of danger.
Here's a dump by Gagne that goes out of play. Well, the Edmonton Oilers, and Stevie mentioned this, they haven't scored a goal in 8 periods, basically. They scored a goal 31 seconds in, then didn't score the rest of that game, and they were shut out the last 2 games. And here's how bad it was for the Edmonton Oilers. In the last 2 games where they got shut out, the other goalie wasn't even the first star. So it's really been a difficult time for them to try to generate much. And to that point that Stevie made a while ago, they didn't even get a power play in the last 2 games. And that's hard to do, to play 120 minutes and never draw a penalty. But getting to some of the tough areas and little puck possession, certainly been in need here for the Edmonton offense, and they have really had things percolating along here in the opening 20 minutes tonight. There's going to be another offside unless the Hawks go back and touch up. There's another example of the lack of sharpness from the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, Duncan Keith waited forever to dump it in. He had guys in stride on the right side. And, you know, things are just off right here and right now. Fortunately, they got 2 more periods to go.
Yeah, they're certainly not on the same page. And a big misstep here, but as you mentioned, they've got plenty of time to try and get back on track. You've got to try, and it's been a strength all year long, get pucks deep and get it back. Their forechecking has been relentless. I haven't seen it so much in this game.
Here's a turnover from Crawford, and the shot was off, and he got back in enough time to make a save. And, I mean, the Hawks can't turn it over from goalie to D-man. That's how off things are tonight.
Yeah, Corey Crawford really upset, and he just fired the puck. He laid it up for his defenseman. You got to come with speed. You know your goalie's back there. Nugent Hopkins gets to it first, and then it's a fire drill. A couple of stops there by Corey Crawford before he fired it down the ice.
Well, to your point, there's Nick Leddy. I mean, he's got to go get the puck. And I guess he assumed that Crawford was going to pass it to him a couple feet away, but they'll come back there with some speed and try to wind things up and allow yourself to get out of the zone. But well, things, it's been a mishmash in the opening 20 minutes for the home side without question. We're down to half a minute left. This is looking as if it's going to be a 5-shot period for one of the top offenses in the league. That rush gummed up at the blue line. And Brown will put it back to the other end. Kruger waits. I think he took a look up at the clock and decided to just allow the remaining seconds to tick away. The Hawks get outshot 12-5 in the first period. Corey Crawford on in relief of Ray Emery. They hit Emery for 3 goals and 9 shots. They got another against Crawford. And the Blackhawks in trouble 20 minutes into the game here on Madison Street. The Oilers 4 and the Hawks nothing.
Welcome back to the United Center, where the Edmonton Oilers have jumped out to a 4-0 lead. In our Illinois Lottery, anything is possible. We flash back to January 7th, 1980. The Philadelphia Flyers were riding an NHL record 35-game point streak, but it all came to an end by the Minnesota North Stars with a 7-1 shellacking. After the record-ending loss, the Flyers went 22-10-10 the rest of the way and finished 48-12-20. They eventually lost out to the Islanders in the Stanley Cup Finals in 6 tough games. Here you see that graphic of longest point streaks in NHL history. Chicago Blackhawks third with 24 games with at least a point in regulation. Montreal Canadiens have 77-78. They've been at 28 games with a point.
All right, we get ready for period 2. With the Oilers owning a 4-0 advantage.
This second period of Blackhawks hockey is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Hutter just made sure to get that one out. They're going to wind up with an icing call.
The second period is
So the initial setup for Joel Quenneville to start this period, he keeps the same groupings together. He's got Hossa, Saad, and Taves remaining together along with Keith and Seabrook. And we get ready for a draw in the Edmonton zone. Gagne got tossed. So Yakupov with Taves. And the face-off one to Seabrook. Hossa looks for Saad. It jumped away to Potter. Hossa got it back. His pass went off a skate, and Yakupov, or I should say Payarvi, sends it in. Huge pass attempt, bounced high into the air. Captured finally by Saad to Taves into the zone. Taves dropped it to Keith. His stick tied up. He still shot it. It was tipped on the way, or redirected at least. And Dubnyk made the stop, and back comes Payarvi. Dropped it to Gagne. Payarvi faced it down in the corner. Hemsky had it taken away, and Stallberg turned it over. Here's a long shot from Petrie that's gloved by Crawford.
Patrick Kane was taking off, trying to receive that pass earlier. Duncan Keith jumped in from the blue line, and watch for the Blackhawks defenseman to become real active. Nice drop pass there from the captain. He gets hooked up by Ryan Smith right at the last second. Brandon Saad getting taken care of in front of the net by Schmid.
Hjalmarsson paired up with Leddy here. And Bolin bounced it ahead. Kane got knocked down, but it's picked up by Stallberg. He goes wide, tried a shot. It bounced towards Bolin, but he was well covered. And now Petrie run over by Bolin. It's held in by Hjalmarsson. Nick Hjalmarsson tries a long shot. That was well wide, and Hemsky able to clear the Oilers zone. Hall couldn't quite receive that puck cleaning. Oilers had they touched it with an offside, so they just let the play go on. Here's Shaw ahead for Bickle. A shot is wide.
Earlier we talked about that hit by Dave Bolin. Those are the kind of things the Blackhawks are going to have to do to try and get back in this game. You're not going to be able to score every shift. You got to try and get the fans back into this. And a nice hit on a much bigger Petrie.
Shaw driving, turns around, a wraparound and a save. By Dubnyk, then the puck cleared. So now we have the Hawks have Kruger, Bickle, and Shaw together. So the top 6 remain intact at the opening of this period. And a couple of deep pairs have been switched around. Now Petrell, set by Brookbank. He's paired up here with Oduya. By the way, in terms of icing coming up here against Chicago, if the Oilers can touch up, and they succeeded in that, equal opportunity frustration for the Chicago Blackhawks in that opening frame. Everybody, virtually everybody on the team is a -1. The only line that didn't get tagged was Bickle, Shaw, and Frolik. They're the only guys who didn't get a minus in that first period. Every other player dressed was on the ice for one even strength goal again. So it's not like just one grouping having some problems. And now Schultz for Edmonton rings it around. Potter cleared the zone. Yakupov to Payarvi. Nail Yakupov gains the Hawks line, and look out if that guy gets in the room. He's got a great shot. He showed us that last time they were here. Here's a long one by Gagne, kicked away by Crawford, and cleared to center where the Hawks are able to dump it in.
Edmonton doing a great job of closing the gap on the Chicago Blackhawk forwards. Edmonton D standing up in the neutral ice area, forcing them to do something.
Taylor Hall slipped in front, and somehow Harkov unable to receive the pass. He was in the middle, but back come the Hawks. Pass in front, just deflected away from Saad. Now Hossa dropped it up the boards. Seabrook back to Hossa. There's Taves to Saad. Dropped it to Keith. He looks towards Seabrook, but was not in his wheelhouse. Brandon Saad goes back to Seabrook. Seabrook walks to the middle. Puck escaped him, and now Harkov failed to get it out. Taves looking to Saad, and boy, a 5-foot pass didn't work. And now the puck cleared out.
And you mentioned it a couple of times, Pat, just not on the same page. And we're talking about the top line for the Chicago Blackhawks, just nothing going their way right now.
Chalmerson ahead for Kane, and that's an offside play. And I want to say the Hawks have been offside at least 6 times already tonight.
Yeah, never a good sign. Your Harris bank check replay, a big hit by Dave Bolin, gives up about 3 inches to Petrie, but finishes his check with authority. Takes a man off the puck. Another nice hit by Davey Bolin.
Dave Bolin looked to center, but Eberle in the way of that. Now taken by Whitney. Shot it back into Chicago ice. Has to be played by Leddy. And a good job by Stallberg to lift the stick to prevent the puck from being kept in. Look at, there goes Dubnyk out to the blue line. He might give up a goal, and he does. A nice play by Patrick Kane to drag the puck around a checker. And the Hawks able to capitalize on a big mistake by Devan Dubnyk.
Oh, and remember that goal. That could start something here. Devan Dubnyk, not too sure what he was thinking. You could tell there was no way he could get to the puck before Patrick Kane did. The puck gets hoisted up the ice. Dubnyk decides to come out and actually hesitates on the way there. Look at the patience here, though, from Patrick Kane. I thought he might pass it. He hung on to it. And a beautiful curl and drag as Ryan Whitney goes sliding by. Puts it in an open cage, and that's some excitement from number 88. Hoping to get his team into it.
All right, the Hawks able to dump it in. Potter a ring around. That deflected to Smith. Shaw able to spin him around. That's an offside play.
Let's take one more look at that first goal by the Blackhawks. Patrick Kane, who leads this team in scoring. Just pokes it by Dubnyk. And a real good job not to rush it. So easy to try and pull the trigger. Had a bad angle here, so the curl and drag gets himself in a good shooting position. And a wide open net. Not sure what Dubnyk was thinking, but, you know, more importantly, the Blackhawks have to start taking some shots on him. Maybe his confidence rattled a little bit. He realized he made a big mistake. Get some shots on this guy.
Now Petrell as they clear the zone. Back come the Hawks. Shaw steps in. Andrew Shaw and Kruger didn't have a stick on the ice for that pass. Now here's Bickle. Couldn't quite get it to the front of the net. Taken by Keith. Now Shaw. Andrew Shaw walks in. His shot is blocked by Schultz. Kruger again to Shaw in the corner. He got checked. Bickle picked it up. Petrell able to take it away from Kruger, but it's held by Seabrook. Keith tries a long shot. It's some traffic and late there for Dubnyk to cover it up. And he gets a whistle. We have played 7 minutes here in the middle period. A little skirmishing again. It happened last time this line was on the ice. It happens again, but Patrick Kane capitalizing on a mistake for his 13th of the season.
Wednesday, a West Coast road trip will heat up in California as Joakim Noah and the Bulls do battle with the Kings. Coverage begins at 8:30 with McDonald's Bulls pregame live. Bulls Kings Wednesday night at 8:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
All right. Look at that. You know, they do have concessions here. You don't have to eat your fingers, but that's a great picture of a couple of young Hawks fans hoping for a big-time comeback here tonight. All right, here's the draw. Bayarvi cleared the zone. Yakupov working with Keith. They're against him. Nail Yakupov up the boards and cleared it in behind. A pass from Gagne. Goes all the way to the other end, and Kane chased it down. Patrick Kane drives and shoots. And a pad save by Dubnyk. Another one, Seabrook. He missed the net. Held in. No, it jumped away from Keith and out.
Good pressure from the Blackhawks. Patrick Kane hanging up around the blue line. Jumps on another loose puck. Dubnyk made that one look easy.
Now Leddy and Seabrook together, and Nick Leddy. Here's it ahead to Taves. Taves turns and center. Hossa scores! Marian Hossa set up by Jonathan Taves. And the Hawks have scored the first two to try to get back in it.
What a smart play by the captain. Marian Hossa, as soon as he came off the bench, just hung up around the blue line. That backed the defenseman off, and that gave Jonathan Taves some speed. Makes the net, and watch this pass out front. Marian Hossa finds the seam. Looks like it goes 5-hole on Dubnyk. And that's a big goal. 4-2, right back in this. Blackhawks have all the momentum.
Chipped it in deep. Picked up by Petrie. Held in. Here's Saad, but he couldn't get the puck under control. Taken by Leddy. Long shot off the mark. And the Hawks battle to keep this in. Saad working the wall. Now Hossa sends it up the boards. Picked off by Schmid. He cleared it out. Here's Jordan Eberle in on Nick Leddy. He checked him into the corner. Eberle was just ready to lower his shoulder, trying to muscle the net. Said the Hawks D-man, but now a Blackhawks penalty, and Leddy can't believe it. He's going off.
I thought that was a great stand-up play by Nick Leddy, one-on-one. Maybe later on he grabs him, but watch the poke check. Body, poke check. Oh, they're calling a hold right there. That's pretty soft. I mean, that's a weak call. I mean, you stand a guy up one-on-one, you're going for a loose puck, you're just basically pushing him out of the way. There was no hold on the play. Coach Quenneville certainly not happy about that. And the Blackhawks forced to kill one.
Oilers scored on their first power play chance tonight. Hemsky out it back. Schultz sends it across. They go down low. Hall, rink wide. Hemsky. Try to go short side. Foot block. Frolik. Now taken by Nugent-Hopkins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins moves to the dot. Shoot it. Kicked away. Crawford. Rebound is held in. Good play by Schultz to keep it. Centered it. Here's a shot. Good block by Keith. Now Hall. Across to Nugent-Hopkins, who Schultz a long shot. Good look for Crawford. Volkov was near the blue paint, but nowhere in near the shooting lane, so Crawford able to locate that.
Yeah, and a good job by him to get that whistle. Those penalty killers were tired. Even though they'd only been out there for 34 seconds, they've been running around the whole time. Great puck movement by Edmonton. They're finding those seams through the box. And there's that glove save by Corey Crawford.
Assisted by Hayden Cardinal at 7:51.
Able to win a draw and get it out. Ryan Whitney, who was a healthy scratch for the Oilers last time they were here at the early part of their long road trip. This one cleared in. Kind had it taken away. And a good play by Chalmerson. A short pass was on the money. Now Hossa gets out. Hossa in with Taves, crisscrossing. Dropped into the captain. Back to Hossa, right in! And a save by Dubnyk. Big play. The goalie may be hurt. And Hossa went crashing into the goalpost as well. He's a little shaken up. But a great passing play for the Hawks, short-handed. And it found Hossa right in alone. And Dubnyk made a very important save, but a lot of contact after that.
Well, they took advantage of the fact that Nail Yakupov, the forward, is playing defense. He was back. It was a 2-on-2, and a great job between Hossa and Jonathan Taves to take advantage of it. Watch as they come in over the blue line. There's recognition. They switch lanes. Hossa gets it back. Oh, and it's actually Hartikainen who really makes hard contact with Devan Dubnyk. Let's see where Marian Hossa gets it. Looks like the midsection with a crossbar. Comes off rather easily, though. Dubnyk's still down. Good news is Marian Hossa's still at the players' bench. And there's Hartikainen going hard into Dubnyk. Started 22 games, 21 games for the Edmonton Oilers this year. He did start their last game in Nashville, was pulled after one period of play. And it looks like they're massaging his neck, so you'd think that maybe the contact Hartikainen made with him had something to do with his neck.
You see Jan Denis, the Edmonton backup, stretching out in case he is needed, and hard to know whether that may be the case, but Dubnyk just now beginning to move. Last time the Oilers were here was Hobby Bullen in the Edmonton net, and he's been hurt ever since, so he's unavailable to Ralph Kruger. And
Pat, we've got to look in Ultramo exactly what happened with Dubnyk. Now watch how his head gets pushed down and to the side. A compression. And it's Hartikainen who comes into him right there. And that's an awkward position for anyone's neck to be in, especially when you're not expecting it. And Hartikainen was coming back hard. And that would probably be some type of a neck strain, a neck sprain. You mentioned earlier Dubnyk at 6'5". Right now he's just trying to figure out if he can just stay in there. If it's going to hurt him at all to be able to go side to side with his head. Marian Hossa seems fine after making contact with the net, and a good thing the net comes off easily, and he actually helped shove it off to make sure that it wasn't going to do any damage to his midsection.
Makes me think of the time years ago that the Blackhawks player was down, that trainer Skip Thayer ran out to look after him, and after a big hit like that, of course, that was well before concussions were looked after the way they are now. And Skippy comes out to look at, ask the guy if he's all right. Yeah, I'm okay. You are? And if, you know, Skip said the guy's eyes were glazed. He said, you're all right? Yeah, I'm all right. What does the scoreboard say? He said, what scoreboard? All right, Devin Dubnyk is done, and Jan Denis is going to come into the game against the Blackhawks power play that still has 46 left.
And I don't know if you saw it, Pat. Real nice gesture by Marian Hossa. Skated over, made sure he got in front of Dubnyk as he came off, just to make sure he was okay. Asked if he was okay, and of course, Marian Hossa knows exactly what kind of those injuries can be like. And he just wanted to make sure the big goaltender was okay.
Well, Jan Denis just makes his third appearance of the year for the Edmonton Oilers.
He was called up from Oklahoma City right after you mentioned Nikolai Habibulin injured in that game here, the shootout game. He finished the game, but was not good enough to play the next game. And a wise decision there by the Blackhawks, even though it's from 100 feet. Duncan Keith with a long one on Jan Denis, and he wasn't too sure about it.
He's played only 4 periods in the NHL so far this season. 4 pucks have gone in on 35 shots in his NHL play this year. All right, here comes Paul into the zone. He dropped it back. Hemsky dropped it to Schultz. He sends it across. Oilers still with a man advantage. Here's Hemsky. Now Schultz to Hemsky, one-timer. Shank from behind the net. Came back to Alex Hemsky on the board. To Schultz. Jeff Schultz sends it across. Here's the center. That's it. They score on a pass. And Sean Horkoff set up by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Horkoff just had to keep his stick on the ice. A sweet tip. 5-2, the Oilers with their second power play goal.
Yeah, that's that shot pass from Nugent-Hopkins. High slot for Horkoff. He does a good job of fending off make that Brent Seabrook. Watch number 10 in front. He'll front Seabrook. He'll get his hip in his way, and then just puts that stick on the ice, the redirection. Beats Corey Crawford over that right pad. A huge goal. Real big goal for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm sure one Nick Leddy will be upset about. Not too sure whether or not that was a hold.
Devin on the power play, his second of the season, number 10, Sean Horkoff. This is number 3, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Number 19, Justin Schultz, at 10-28.
All right, now the Oilers Smith to Kayarvi. Back goes Leddy. Kayarvi working the corner. Hjalmarsson knocked it loose. Now Kane. Some traffic trouble in behind. It jumped loose. Potter floats it toward the net. Picked up by Hjalmarsson. Out ahead to Stolberg. They've got 4 back, the Oilers. Kane. Now spins it around the boards. Oduya's in deep. Oilers able to win that puck, though, get it out. And Brookbank will have to play it. Here's Petrie. He just hoists that one. And it's out of play. With just over 8 minutes remaining in the second period. An important power play goal for the Oilers has them up 3.
Blackhawk fans, vote for the Allstate Good Hands Play of the Week. Each week on ChicagoBlackhawks.com, you could have a chance to win a signed puck by the winning player and other great prizes. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more information.
Now there's There's Andy McElvin. We saw some happy humans eating. Well, there's a couple happy humans up here in the press box as well. He and his wife have a great cupcake shop called Forevermore Cupcakes, and usually when he's working in the UC, we get some. We didn't have any at the start of the game. I was very upset. Now, we got a big box. There's a sweet dozen up here, so thanks to Andy and the officiating crew tonight. www.morecupcakes.com. And More Cupcakes, that's exactly what it ought to be called. Here's the chance for Speed. And a good kick save by Crawford.
Yeah, that was tough. He had traffic in front, and he wasn't too sure whether or not it'd be redirected.
Horkoff. Cross for Taylor Hall. Almerson unable to retrieve it. Here comes Letty. Backhands it ahead. Side center. Hossa. Oh, he stopped a good quick shot, but it was off the mark. Now Boland for Hossa. Touched it back. Here's Letty at left. Oh, good save, Denis, with no rebound. And now the Hawks trying to get a few things going on offense.
Yeah, Denis and cold. He did see one from 100 feet up that he stopped, and this one a bullet, but right into his midsection. Traffic in front. Good job by Brandon Saad to take his check and then to pirouette in front of the net, trying to get a stick on it. Denis soaks up the rebound.
Was dropped unfairly. We'll try it again. Ryan Smith, the veteran winger of the Oilers, for the most part has played center tonight. Ralph Kruger trying to shake things up on the Edmonton bench after his team picked up just one win in the last 7 games and have been whitewashed in their last 2. Here's Kane picking up some speed. He gets in, shooting. That's blocked out in front to Smith. Ike Brown, who's got a goal tonight, was stripped at the blue line. Here comes Stahlberg. He gets in. Stahlberg, a shot and a save by Denis. Rebound to the Oilers, and Montreal got it out.
Well, good idea. Just keep shooting on this guy. That one, first rebound that comes off Denis, it was like a fairly routine save, but it came off that left pad, unfortunately, right to an Edmonton player.
Kruger, his shot. Denis kicks that to the boards. And now the Oilers, Petrel. Lifted forward. Taken by Seabrook. Send it back in there. Schultz bounce it to the other side. Held in by Kruger. Centered it. Here's a chance for shot. Good save, Denis. Looking sharp. Basically point-blank chance from Andrew Shaw.
Oh, that was a real good stop. You know, we mentioned he did come in cold Friday in Nashville. He let in his second shot on net. He's made 4 or 5 here. That may be his best. In the Ultra Mo, a lot of torque on that stick. And he saw it all the way.
Shaw. In behind and turns with a shot. And a save by Denis. Able to hang on, and the whistle sounds with 6 minutes remaining in period 2. The Oilers up 3.
Welcome back to the United Center, where the Blackhawks are down 5-2 to the Edmonton Oilers, but make sure you stick around for the intermission, because that man, defensive end for the Chicago Bears, Shea McClellan, will be part of the oh-so-popular Shoot the Puck with our own Susanna Collins. Looks like he knows what he's doing there. Good follow-through. Big guy.
Did he have shoulder pads on? It didn't look like it. But yeah, that's a big dude. All right, here's the draw. Taken by Bicknell. Brings it out in front. Bouncing up a couple of sticks. Finally, the Oilers get it out, and the race is on, and they're going to have a breakaway. A chance for Hemsky to the backhand. Good save by Crawford. A penalty coming up. Chicago. Alish Hemsky had Crawford to himself, and the goalie made an important save.
Well, this is going to be your GMC professional grade save, and it was Corey Crawford. Yes, Duncan Keith gets a penalty on the play. Ales Hemsky, watch the job he does reaching back for this puck, not breaking stride, and that's against the very speedy Duncan Keith. Gets the slash in. And there's that stop. Boy, just the blade of the skate stops that. Some people might wonder why it wasn't a penalty shot. Well, he did get his shot off, and it was a pretty good one. Great save by Corey Crawford.
Here's a one-timer, Yakupov. That was blocked out in front. And Trolik, I believe, made the block, able to clear it.
Yeah, that stung him a little bit. And you mentioned it earlier. Yakupov can really bring it.
All right, now the Oilers get it back in. Eberle. Hartikainen for Eberle. Put it to the other side, Gagne. Dropped it back to Whitney. Gagne's touch pass broken up by Hossa, trying to chase it down. Penalty against Gagne, 2-on-1. Gagne, quick play, and here's Hossa, walks in. Big save, and he rebound. Brookbank, and a save, and then it went in. The Blackhawks, I think it's going to be Brookbank's goal. That's a short-handed tally. And the Hawks are within 2. And Sam Gagne, after Marian Hossa gave him trouble, was going to get a penalty, and he quit playing.
Slowed down on the play, but Sheldon Brookbank certainly did watch here. And he's going to step in the way of Marian Hossa. That earned him the penalty, even held the stick. But instead of getting back and on his horse, he complained to the referee. Watch 17. Great job to stick with it. Goes off his body. I think he gets a stick on it. Now, the Edmonton Oilers were complaining that maybe he batted it in with his glove. It looks like it goes off his body, but then 17 will get his stick on it. Right there. As it bounced it, maybe didn't get a stick on it. But I don't think it was directed in with the glove. It comes up high. It's off his body. And if he didn't make contact with his stick, I'm not too sure how you'd ever be able to figure that out. But it looks like it hits his upper body. Brookbank senses the puck coming up. Looks like it hits him right between the shoulder blades in the front of his chest. From this angle, I think you get a pretty good idea of where it makes contact with him. Right there, right in the middle of the body, almost on the Indian head crest. And the overhead. Great save by Denis. And there it is, right off the body of Sheldon Brookbank. Now, if he bats that in, yeah, it's a non-goal, but it did go off his body. I don't think it should matter whether or not he made contact with his stick, but they are checking back in the war room in Toronto to make sure that it was a good goal.
Call on the ice was a good goal, it appeared. Kelly Sutherland was the man who was on the headphones talking back to the war room, and I would imagine this is going to take a minute or two to get this sorted out. Key element. I mean, if it does go off his glove and then he doesn't touch it with his stick, Hawks are going to have a problem. If it hits his body and goes in, I think you're going to be okay. But already the decision's been made. Let's get the call.
Upon video review, the puck deflects off the chest of the Chicago players. No intentional pushing of the puck. We have a good goal on the ice.
Well, good call by Toronto. Good call by the referee on the ice. And a great job by Sheldon Brookbank, killing this penalty to follow it up ice. And he knew what he was doing there. Get my body in front of it because it's going to bounce up over me. And he's a big guy, corrals it with his chest. He'll take him any way he can get him.
First goal and point of the year for Sheldon Brookbank. And the Hawks come up with a shorty to draw a little closer in the game. Still a minute of power play time here though for the Oilers. Now the first meeting between these teams, the Oilers scored a short-handed goal, but the Hawks, Patrick Kane, got it right back on the same power play. The Hawks need to get through this without giving anything more up to the Oilers. Now here's a lead for Trolik. He might have a short-handed chance. Fires! And a save by Denis.
And Edmonton continues to go with 4 forwards out there, just one defenseman, that being Schultz. And the Blackhawks taking advantage of every opportunity they get.
Now Nugent Hopkins will leave it for Hemsky.
Good battle. Good battle.
Horkoff near the front of the net. It's dropped back to Jeff Schultz. Put it across. Nugent-Hopkins center tip. It's the same play. Nugent-Hopkins. Last time it was Horkoff. This time it's Hall. The same play has worked twice on the Oiler power play. They get the shorty right back. It's 6-3.
Well, they saw that same play happen against them. Nashville scored 2 power play goals. One exactly like this. A guy in the high slot. The redirection. This time it's Hall, not Horkoff. Good puck movement. And it's really hard to defend against. You know, Brent Seabrook, you can't commit to that guy. He's high in the slot. You've got a guy down low. A perfect redirection from Taylor Hall. And all the guys we talked about in the open pad about not scoring, whether it's Hall or Sam Gagner, who has a couple of goals tonight, they've been getting on the board.
Here's Petrell keeping it in. Goes wide, trying to drive to the net. Knocked away, I think, by Crawford. Finally, Hossa comes the other way. Gonna ring it around for Saad. Taves for Saad. Quick shot. Missed the target. Held in Brookbank. Taves in behind. Got knocked down in the corner. The Oilers clear it the other way. Trying to catch him in a change, but Brookbank missed. Hossa icing the result.
Well, Jamal Mayers may have hit the 900-game plate mark this season, but how is he in the kitchen? Come out to the Myers at 7111 Cermak Road in Berwyn on Monday, March 11th, and watch Jamal participate in the first Myers Cooking with the Blackhawks of the season. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more information.
Now the draw, taken by Stahlberg. And a drive to the net. He nearly did, and Denis down low to smother the one-hander. Now Stahlberg again. Off it back. Good keep by Keith. Kane to Seabrook. The shot. He scored! And Seabrook, as he was falling, let it go. Somehow it escaped Denis. 6-4 now.
Play all started in the Blackhawks zone. They lose the draw, but Victor Stahlberg picks up a loose puck. It was Gagner who won it. Stahlberg was off to the races. That's a hot pass, and that's another good play by Duncan Keith. That was a real hot pass from Stahlberg. And watch Brent Seabrook load up and absolutely rip it through Jan Denis. It finds the back of the net. 6-4 the score. Blackhawks trail.
Blackhawks will hit one of the season, November 7th. Frank Seabrook.
Right now, Keith left it for Seabrook. He had his pocket pick. Here's a chance for the Oilers. Quickly center with his ball stick. Now Horkoff got it in front. Smothered by Crawford. Well, the Oilers, now Hall and Shaw, who've been going at it the entire shift, get together after the whistle. They had trouble lining up for the draw, and it's not the first time tonight that Shaw and Hall have gone after one another, at least a little bit. Now it gets to be more than a little.
And that's Horkoff. He ends up ripping the helmet off of Andrew Shaw. John Horkoff, as we mentioned, has missed 17 games with a broken knuckle. This is his first game back. Prior to that, you know, Edmonton may be guilty of overpassing here. Should have been a shot on net. Nugent-Hopkins was looking for Hall. And as you mentioned, number 4 and Shaw come together. Had words, pushing and shoving. That's when Horkoff stepped in. Horkoff and Shaw both in the penalty box right now. Taylor Hall's got some grit. And that's when Horkoff stepped in, figured enough was enough. He'd come to the aid of the youngster. Andrew Shaw ends up ripping his helmet off right at the end.
So 4 skaters aside on the coincidental minors.
The Edmonton Oilers over 10, Sean Portball. 2 minutes to
Here comes Chalmerson. Good pass, finds Kane. He steps in, shooting. Tacked out in the middle of the ice, or in the middle of the air. And that didn't seem to get all the way to the goal. Now the Oilers start back. Everly's got it, wants Nugent Hopkins. He's hit hard by Chalmerson. And now Taves the other way. His long pass floats behind Kane, going to be icing.
Yeah, they've been stretching the ice an awful lot in this second period. Normally sending one forward well up ice, normally opposition blue line. Blackhawks have 18 shots in period number 2. Go along with their 4 goals. And all they're thinking right now is offense. Still plenty of time in this hockey game.
Chalmerson. They're going to allow a change to be made. He put it ahead. Here's Saad, who was checked right away. Keith to Hossa. He steps in. Reeves in the middle shooting. Fired it wide. Now Saad tried to slip it in front. That was tipped. Hossa. For Saad, he was well covered. Gagne, and had he gotten that puck, he had a 2-on-1, but Keith got there quickly. And now Hemsky for Edmonton. 40 left on the coincidental. And now the crowd alive on Madison Street. Here's Gagne. And Gagne dropped it back. Schultz into the corner. Whitney. Centered it. The pass tipped to Gagne. Final minute now of period 2. Dahlberg with a problem. Petrell took it away. Now it's dropped back to Whitney. And it's Petrell. A sandwich in the corner. Dahlberg came out with it. Kane's got it. Now the coincidentals over. Kane into the zone, pulls up. Keith to a wide open Chalmerson. His shot is blocked by Petrell. Good job of getting the pass in the shooting lane. And now Whitney. Lead it to the boards. Petrell there. Took a hit. Held the puck. And he clears the zone. That's going to finish. A wide open period 2, a 6-goal second period. 4 of them, though, scored by the Blackhawks to give themselves a chance in the game. The Edmonton Oilers had 7 shots in the second. The Hawks had 18. It's 24-19 Chicago after 2, but the important numbers are 6-4 Edmonton. Welcome back to downtown Chicago, where the Edmonton Oilers will take a 2-goal lead into the third period. We get a minute with assistant coach Mike Kitchen. You know, this pitch hasn't obviously gone according to plan, but you fought your way back into the battle here. What are the bullet points that you talked about getting ready for the third period?
Well, one thing, let's not take any penalties, stay out of the box, and if we do take a penalty, let's kill it. But, yeah, you don't want to get up out of your seat and go get a popcorn. You're going to miss a couple goals. So it's something that it's a kind of a bizarre game to be part of, and we just got to make sure we get some pressure on them and pinch in the offensive zone, try and keep the puck alive so we can get some more offensive chances.
Kitch, I want to follow up on the penalty kill. Is it something that they're doing that you're not used to, or is it mostly what the penalty killers aren't doing?
It's more what the penalty killers aren't doing. It's something we knew what they're going to do there, but we're a little lackadaisical on those plays coming into the slot, those redirects, and we got to be a little more tighter in those areas, you know. And we haven't been moving together as a group of 4 out on the ice, especially when we're trying to kill. If one goes, we all go. Yeah.
All right, good luck here, kid. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, just we were getting ready to talk to Mike Kitchen. A couple of great fans we had a chance to meet between periods. There's Patrick Callahan, who's on hand with his brother and his mom and dad watching Blackhawks hockey tonight, and they are big, big fans. And that sign that they put together actually lights up. I mean, they've got electricity there. You put me on the first line. He's ready.
What a great family. And this third period of Blackhawks hockey is brought to you by Hyundai. Visit myhyundaichicago.com.
All right, now it's in behind. Payarvi is checked by Seabrook. Shaw hacked at it, held in. Gagne alongside. Crawford gave a rebound. Great. Brent Seabrook just saved a goal. Leonard Petrell was ready to tuck in the rebound, and Seabrook tied him up without getting a penalty and prevented the shot. Now Petrell again. That one didn't get through.
That was a relatively routine, what should have been a routine save for Corey Crawford. It jumped out of his glove, and a juicy rebound. You mentioned Brent Seabrook made sure no one was getting to it.
Now the Hawks are changing as Schmid gets things set up. Horkoff bounces it to center. Now picked up by Hall. He tries to drive, and Crawford blocked the centering pass. Now taken by Stallberg. They're way in front of Kane. Icing coming up.
The third period is driven by Hyundai.
Pat, you're talking about Brent Seabrook and the job he did in front of the net. There's that routine, what should have been a glove save. Comes right to Petrell, and job by number 7 to get back. Deny the opportunity from Petrell. Keep this a 2-goal game.
They clear it in behind. Everly beaten to it by Chalmerson, but Everly came away with it. Here's centering pass, and a stick deflected that up into the air, out of the reach of Jeff Schultz, who had snuck in. Whitney kept it. Chalmerson took it back. Able to clear it to center. Kane rolled it ahead. Jeff Schultz pursued by Stallberg. And Nugent Hopkins there for the Oilers. Eberle up the right wing boards. The visitors chasing as Brookbank now starts away. On the money for Kruger. Put it into the zone. Here's a quick shot. Missing the mark from Bickle. And then the puck cleared. Held in Brookbank. His long one deflected just behind Shaw. Now taken by Schultz. His clearing attempt at the official. Hawks keep it in. Here's Oduya. His shot. He was hoping for redirect. Didn't get it from Shaw. And Nick Schultz fires it up the boards, and Oilers able to get away.
Another real good shift by that third line. A lot of constant pressure. Unfortunately, not a lot of shots on Yan Denis.
Here's Michael Frolik. Fights through a check. Frolik turns with a wraparound, and a save by Denis. Rebound to the visitors, and back they come with Payarvi. Tipping it in. It bounced to Petrell, whose shot was wide. To Schmid. His wrister tip. Bounced wide of the target. And captured by Keith. To Frolik. Marcillo's rink wide. Taken by Mayer. Now Mayer's hacked at it. It bounced high into the air. And Gagne with a hoister.
We're not even 3.5 minutes into this third period. They've been up and down the ice 3 different times. Opportunities at both ends of the rink.
Well, the Hawks being down 2 goals. They probably don't look, or they don't mind the game taking that form. Horkoff had a hold of Taves. The stick got away with it. Here's Hossa. I'll tell you, when you call a penalty on Nick Leddy the way you did for holding, and then that is not whistled, that's a problem.
Wondering if maybe Edmonton was in the ear of the officials. They hadn't had 2 penalties called against the other team against them the last 2 games. No power play attempts in 2 games. I'm certain, that's not the case, but you just got to wonder when you see calls like that and then non-calls on Taves.
Hall able to battle his way to center and dump it. Brookbank sends Kane out. Patrick Kane eludes Hartikainen. Now weaves into the zone. They got 4 back. Kane looking to drive. Forced to the corner. He'll drop it back. Here's Brookbank bringing it. Shot it wide. Held in by Oduya. Then Potter tries the near side. Everly failed to advance it. Kane in for Boley center. That's picked off, and Hartikainen cleared.
Unfortunately, Brookbank had to change the angle of that shot just a little bit. He had a forward coming out at him. He didn't want to get it blocked. Might have been a breakaway the other way. Just missed by about 6 inches.
Kane floats it ahead here. Stahlberg, he fakes, then drives. Couldn't get rid of a shot. Stahlberg helped by Kane here. Kane spinning to his backhand. Nugent Hopkins managed to stay with him, and now the Oilers clear it out.
Fans starting to voice their displeasure on 2 separate occasions now. Jonathan Toews and now Patrick Kane skating right by the official and letting him know what they think.
Here's Yakupov, his wrister soaked up by Crawford for a whistle.
Yeah, now Patrick Kane was trying to sell one, and he was being held a little bit by Nugent Hopkins. He also had a hold of Nugent Hopkins' stick, and I think that's what the ref saw. Earlier, Jonathan Toews given a rough ride. Gets a stick held by Horkoff.
Hard to figure how you miss that. The puck's right there.
Yeah, and the referee literally 40 feet away.
Toews with 4 goals in his last 6 games before tonight. Looking to right by. Oh, there's a big hit along the boards on Shaw. That's going to be a penalty. And now the Hawks will get a power play chance. And Schmid, who delivered the blow, Seabrook got near him to just let him know that he had seen it. But the Hawks don't want to do anything goofy here and negate a power play.
Andrew Shaw is very good at drawing penalties. He's probably drawn more penalties than any other Blackhawk player. And the puck clearly not even close to him. He gets hammered by Schmid. That's a penalty, and the Blackhawks, interference to call. Blackhawks, a great opportunity here to get within 1.
Toews, Shaw, Hossa in front of Keith and Seabrook. And a draw won by the Blackhawks. Here's a pass for Toews, who touched it to Hossa. Shaw in front of the net. Toews has got it back door. Keith, the pass was intended for him, didn't get through. And the Oilers, Horkoff back the other way.
Real good job by Schultz to lay down that stick and block that pass from Jonathan Toews.
Now the Hawks get in. Hossa. Back door is Shaw. Hossa for Toews. Hossa's got it up for Shaw. Oh, great play by Petrie. Then it came loose. Toews. Good save by Denis. Taken by Keith. And the pass jammed up on the boards, and the Oilers able to get it out. Gagne into the offensive zone. Sam Gagne lost it to Seabrook. And the Hawks making some changes here as Kane starts up the ice. Patrick Kane for Victor Stahlberg. Backed away by Everly and by Potter rather, and the Oilers get it out. Dolan back in there. Dolan across for Kane, right to the goal. He shoots, he scores! Patrick Kane gets his 2nd goal of the game on a sweet pass by Dave Bolin. And the Hawks are within 1.
Well, that's a goal scorer's goal. Normally you try and rush a shot like this. Patrick Kane didn't. He made sure he settled it. He picked his spot. And what a laser beam. Up over the arm of Yann Denis. He's got his team within 1. As you mentioned, Pat, that's a nice pass by Dave Bolin. Watch them make the line. Davey Bolin will end up with the puck. He finds the seam. And watch that pass almost 100 feet across the ice. And Patrick Kane waited, picked his spot. Up over the glove, not a lot of room there. And Patrick Kane with his 2nd on the night makes it a 6-5 hockey game.
Hjalmarsson bounced it in. Petrie able to send it the other way. If Hjalmarsson could touch it as I said, and that happens.
Patrick Kane had no points in his last 2 games. He comes into this one, scores 2 real big goals. Also has an assist. And he gave Denis plenty of time to come across. He challenged him. He wanted to make sure he settled that puck. But he's a sniper, and he picked that spot, hit it. Got his second goal of the night.
Now Denis is going to freeze it in the blue paint. Kane was lurking, and the Oilers want to keep him away from their goalie. But the Blackhawks back to within 1 on a power play goal scored by Patrick Kane. He knows who set him up. Davey Bolin gave him a one-on-one with the goalie.
From your Xfinity telestrator, watch Dave Bolin head up the whole way, and he waits for this box to open up just a little bit. As we stop it, look at the seam he has right through the middle of the ice. He puts it perfectly on the plate for Patrick Kane. He settles it, he rifles it, and scores a big power play goal for the Blackhawks.
All right, here's the draw. Picked up by Kane. Now, Jeff Schultz able to bounce it out of there. Kane got it to the other end. When the Oilers start back, Hemsky's speed picked off, though, by Leddy. Here comes Stallberg. He steps into speed, pulls up and shoots. That's blocked. That stung Schultz, though, but the Oilers able to get it back. And Hemsky into the zone. Well, there's Hemsky. Ridden to the corner. Picked up now by Taves. He got away from Horkoff. Going to be 3-on-2. Taves has got it. Stallberg to the net. Rink wide. Kane shooting. Big save by Denis. Kane for Taves. The shot. Off the mark to Brookbank. His wrister. Oh, he passed it to Kane. Up to the backhand. A shot. Oh, just missed the far post by inches. And a pinching O'Duya tried to keep it. He did. Now taken by Brookbank. This long one. Oh, and a tip by Stallberg. Didn't connect. And a big shift going on here for the Taves line. He centered one. Kane, the shot. Just missed. Rebound. Taves got it back. Out to the line, Brookbank. Missed O'Duya with a pass, and that will allow, only a bad pass allowed the Oilers to get out. Hall into the zone, weaving on Brookbank. Shooting. Blocked by Sheldon Brookbank.
That's good one-on-one, especially against Taylor Hall. He's got some nifty moves. He fronted him and blocked that shot down at the other end. What a dominating shift. Patrick Kane with 3 shot attempts. I think only 1 ended up on net.
Now Brookbank ahead for Hossa. It's held in though by Eberle. Nugent Hopkins. Got it to the middle. Sutter went in the shot. Crawford the save, and he gave no loose chain.
Good save by Corey Crawford, who hasn't seen a lot of work this period. Earlier, though, it was all Blackhawks. Patrick Kane bunts this out of the air. Nice move to the middle and just missed the far post. Almost banked it in off Ryan Whitney. A 3-on-2. They're looking for Kane. Here he gets one off. That's a nice save by Denis. His 3rd attempt right towards the end of that shift. Just missed the right post again.
Now the puck bouncing back to center. Seabrook fires it in there. Bickle racing to the corner. Working against Potter. Bickle won the puck. Now Kruger is checked by Gagne, but he came up with it. Marcus Kruger threw it in behind Bickle. Potter pushed him off the play. And the Oilers able to clear it.
You heard Mike Kitchen talking with you, Pat, between periods about the defensemen getting active. They have been very aggressive at the offensive blue line.
Here's Shaw trying to get to the middle. His shot is blocked to Bickle. He couldn't quite put a fork in it. And Hall acting ahead, held in by Hossa with a quick shot. Boy, got a lot on that snapshot. Denis able to make a glove save and hold it. Mike Kitchen also talked to us about the Hawks needing to stay out of the penalty box. So far, they've done that in the third.
Well, Pat, you talked about this turning into a track meet. The 11 goals combined tonight is the most in a Hawks game this season. Besting the mark of 10 goals scored in game number 2, 6-4 win by the Blackhawks in Phoenix.
Little ice repair is going to be needed here. Gives us a chance to give a shout out to the Waterloo Blackhawks in the U.S. Hockey League. They are in attendance tonight, 30 strong. Their coach, P.K.O. Handley, is here with his team, which is in town to play the Steel on Tuesday. Always love it when those young hockey players get a chance to come and watch the big boys go at it. And I'm sure they're all excited about what they've seen, because maybe this is resembling one of their games, an 11-goal outburst. All right, here's Keith. Moved into some open ice, chased down by Seabrook. The puck was jumping on him, though. Called the other way, 3-on-1. Taylor Hall drives, waits, close in front. He lifted it over the stick of Hemsky.
Yeah, good job by Duncan Keith. Laid the body down, forced that high pass from Hall. No way Hemsky could corral it.
Taves with Stahlberg. Now it's Kane, Taves, and Stahlberg have been put together for a good part of this period. Stahlberg got turned around. Almost and followed up there. Here comes the captain. Taves surrounded as he got it in. His stick escaped him. And Johnson has to get back. And icing is called against the visitors.
Well, we talked about the defense taking chances. Brent Seabrook took a chance up the ice. It's a 3-on-1 coming the other way, and watching Ultimo. Great job by Duncan Keith, laying the body down, the saucer pass. Hemsky actually made contact with it, not enough. That was a good 1.5 to 2 feet off the ice. A great look by our crew here at the United Center.
All right, here's Oduya. Pass didn't connect. And back goes Brookbank. Oduya. As was arrived, but Saad got there and cleared it ahead. Here's Hossa moving in with Taves. Hossa takes a look to the middle. There's Brookbank. Good save by Denis. Rebound into the corner. Hossa is checked now. A whistle on the play, and the Oilers are going to be shorthanded. So the Blackhawks, who scored on their last power play, now get another opportunity.
Yeah, Nick Schultz, broken stick out there. Lead me to believe maybe he slashed somebody. Oh, no, he's playing with a broken stick. Boy, you don't see that called very often. And he was playing with a broken stick, didn't drop it early enough. And look at the offense from Sheldon Brookbank. A great opportunity. There's the broken stick by Schultz. You know, I thought he let it go actually right when it broke.
He did. That's not a penalty either. All right, here's the draw. Taken by Leddy. Now Boland worked it back to Kane. And Boland's slow to get up out of the corner, but Leddy has it now. Here's a pass from Boland. It didn't find his blade. Kane again. His shot was blocked. Stahlberg left it for Kane. He looks to Saad. Leddy. Boland's touch pass for Saad. He rolled it to Kane. Threw it in front. It's loose. The Oilers get there. They clear it.
You know what Patrick Kane was thinking? He was looking for Stahlberg, who got his stick tied up. It would have been an easy, wide-open net play. Instead, it was broken up in front and iced by the Edmonton Oilers.
70 for the Hawks power play. Keith to Taves. He got checked by Potter to the corner. In behind Hossa. Rolled it out to Seabrook. Looking for a lane. Put it to Hossa. Back to Seabrook. Here it comes. And a save by Denis. Taves got spun around. Here's Hossa picking it up for the captain in behind. He centered. Here's Shaw. He was checked or knocked out just as he was trying to shoot it. Here's Keith taking over. Hossa's got it now. Keith tries a long shot. Tip. Oh, what a save on a redirect. I think Andrew Shaw got a piece of that rising blast. And Jan Denis with a miraculous save.
Yeah, very similar to a power play goal that Shaw scored a few games ago. He's very good at redirecting high shots. Watch the shot from Duncan Keith as he walks the blue line, and that stick up from Shaw. Can't really tell whether he got a piece of it there, but what a stop by Anthony. Still 32 seconds to go with this man advantage for the Blackhawks.
Made lost to Kane. Seabrook. To Kane. And Osa had the puck roll 3. Taken back by Seabrook. 6 minutes remaining in the third. One last power play rush here for the home team. Kane. Seabrook was offside.
Well, the Chicago Blackhawks will have a few days off after this one. They travel out to Columbus to play the Blue Jackets. Thursday, 6 o'clock start. Columbus just beat the Detroit Red Wings in a shootout tonight. They have won 5 straight. Blue Jackets on the best run of this year for them.
All right, here's the draw. Back by Petrie. And the power play over now, both teams at full strength. Shaw gets in. Leddy carried on. Centered it. It came back to him. Leddy finds Hjalmarsson. Looking back to Leddy. Hjalmarsson trying to bank it to the front of the net. Didn't get the right hop. Here's Kruger. Looks to Bickle. And then hack to Shaw. He took a whack, and then he managed to smother the opportunity. Shaw in the corner. Grabbed by Gagne. Now Kruger. Out it back. Kruger to Leddy. Centered it, hoping for a Shaw tip. Now Kruger put it in front. Shaw had a whack. No, another. And a save by Denis. Rebounds and Hjalmarsson to Leddy. Great pressure again from the Hawks. Here's a shot that's blocked. And the others just trying to play hang on here in the third period.
His makeshift third line has just done an unbelievable job, especially later in this third period.
Leddy's long blast missed the mark, and Gagne goes high off the glass to get rid of it.
Good job by Kruger to get back. The defenseman had pinched up on the play. He was late getting back, but Marcus Kruger, who was well tired, outskated his check down the ice.
Hossa weaving in, put it to Taves. He's got Oduya with him. There's the pass. Oduya with a stop and tip. And a save by Denis. It's loose. And the Oilers, Everly came up with it. Now a penalty. Again coming up. And Hossa slow to scrape himself up off the ice, but the Blackhawks are going to be short-handed. Hossa is going to be sent to the box. 4 minutes left with a 1-goal deficit. Now they're short-handed for another couple minutes.
Time now for our KFC fan cam. Just before we left, Marian Hossa going hard to the net. Didn't avoid contact with the goaltender. Kind of bowls over Denis. He will get the goaltender interference call. Blackhawks killing a penalty.
All right, the Oilers on the power play, and they've scored 2 very similar goals with a man advantage. Hawks do have a shorty tonight. Here's Kruger for Frolik, whose shot was blocked. Horkoff back to the other end. Lost it to Keith. He's able to get it out.
Ralph Kruger. In the past, we've seen him with 4 forwards out there, 1 defenseman. He's got 2 defensemen out there right now, and Schultz and Petrie.
Nugent Hopkins left it for Horkoff. He missed it. And Justin Schultz has to get back. 70 for the Oilers power play. That's Whitney. Everly had it jump loose. Held in by Potter. Gagne's got 2 goals tonight. Bouncing up the boards. Now they fight for it deep in Chicago ice. Gagne dropped it to Potter. He goes across. Whitney with a long blast. Never got through. Good block by Oduya. Now it's Gagne to Everly. Ryan Smith front of the net. Gagne. Everly. Back to Whitney. A long shot. Missed the mark. Rebound. Everly in behind. Now Whitney. Oh, the pass was too soft. Bolin read it and stole it. But he's 1 against 2. Got toward the middle, but the puck escaped him. Now Bolin dropped it to Keith. Just missing contact with Taves on the pass, but the Hawks penalty now over. And both teams at full strength, but the clock winding down with 2 minutes remaining. In the third period, there's an icing call coming up against the Oilers.
Real big penalty kill by the Chicago Blackhawks. No shots allowed. And you talked about that big block, Johnny Oduya. An excellent job sacrificing his body. Sheldon Brookbank getting an opportunity to kill some penalty time out there. He's had a real strong game for the Blackhawks.
Taves, Kane, Hossa out there against the Gagne line. Hawks win the draw. Hossa for Taves. Working against Potter, who knocked him down. Potter able to take it away, clear it. It won't go far enough for icing.
That's too bad. And I thought Kruger might call a timeout. The guys who were out there were tired after the ice. End up getting to the draw eventually and chipping it down the ice.
Hossa to Kane. There goes Crawford to the bench. 6 attackers, Chicago. And the puck rolled away from Hossa. Horkoff's got it. Horkoff. Oh, what a play by Hossa. He stole in the middle of the ice with an empty net. Now Hall fires it around the boards and hops away from Seabrook and out.
It's going to be icing if it makes it. And it does. That was a great steal by Marian Hossa. Just outside the blue line. I think he just wanted to dump it in and get possession again. Look at that steal. I mean, picks the puck cleanly off Horkoff. Dumps it in. They weren't able to get back to it. It looks as if Blackhawks have called a timeout here. Jamie Compon with the chalkboard out.
Well, Ralph Kruger trying to tell his team what to do defensively with this draw coming up in their own end.
And just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. And who would have thunk it back at the time? The 6th goal, 3rd on the power play for the Edmonton Oilers by Taylor Hall is the difference in this hockey game. With the power play goal and a helper tonight.
Oilers with 3 power play goals in the game, 2 of them on that same play. That's the first, you know, the Hawks, there have been only 2 games earlier this season when the Hawks gave up as many as 2 power play goals against. Tonight, the Oilers get them for 3. And now 6 attackers on with 64 left in regulation. 6-5 Edmonton. Is there another miracle from this Blackhawks team? Schmid chasing. He won the puck in the corner, able to hoist it out.
Good play by Schmid. Had some pressure on him. Just a soft hoister. And he killed some time.
Hossa. Now to Kane. Kane with a shot. He's hoping for Hossa redirect. Didn't get it. Now Hossa. Jammed it loose. Hay is well covered and they battle on the boards. Horkoff trying to freeze it. He could not. They continue to battle way down to half a minute left. Oilers keeping it pinned up on the wall. That's exactly where they want the puck. Now they get it out with 20 remaining. Seabrook, they're all standing still. Going to have to dump this one in and try to retrieve. Petrie couldn't advance, and here's Kane trying to center. Kane back to a good play. Horkoff. Now Kane with a shot and a save by Denis. The rebound is hacked loose. And the clock winds down, and the Edmonton Oilers have come into the United Center and held off a furious Blackhawk comeback. A 4-goal Edmonton first period proved to be too much to overcome.
Yeah, they started this game real flat. We're down 4-0 before they knew what was happening. Sean Horkoff, number 10 for them, made a big difference in the lineup. I think without Patrick Sharp, number 10 for the Blackhawks, that's left a pretty big hole in the lineup. The Blackhawks now have lost 2 in regulation after having gone perfect over their first 24.
Our Lexus pursuing perfection players of the game tonight play for the Edmonton Oilers. Sam Gagner came up with 2 goals tonight. And as we just told you, the last one proves to be the game-winning goal. And Jan Denis, who came on midway through this game because of an injury to the starter, Devin Dubnyk. I mean, the Hawks really had enough quality chances. They did get 3 on them, but it could have been a lot more with the amount of hard and good offense they generated. Stay with us now. The Hawk Ford postgame show is coming up with Pat Boyle and Savoir Faire. For our terrific CSN crew and for Steve Conroy, Pat Foley, hoping you enjoyed the broadcast in spite of the outcome, which was Edmonton 6 and Chicago 5. The Hawks now looking at a 4-game road trip beginning on Thursday night. We'll see you then. So long, everyone.